The vast expanse of space had long been a realm of quiet diplomacy and measured progress for the galaxy's advanced civilizations. The Galactic Council, a confederation of 11 spacefaring species, had maintained a delicate balance of power and peace for millennia. Their shared philosophy of gradual technological advancement and cultural exchange had fostered an era of unprecedented stability. That was until the day the Terran Alliance made its grand entrance onto the cosmic stage. On what would later be known as First Contact Day, the Galactic Council's routine assembly on the neutral world of Nexus Prime was interrupted by an unprecedented alert. High Counselor Zixra, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multifaceted eyes, called for order as the chamber erupted into a cacophony of concerned whispers and startled exclamations. Esteemed colleagues, Zixra's resonant voice cut through the chaos. Our long-range sensors have detected an anomaly approaching the Nexus system. It appears to be a fleet of unknown origin. The council chamber's holographic display flickered to life, revealing a swarm of sleek, predatory vessels unlike anything the gathered diplomats had ever seen. At the center of the formation was a colossal ship that dwarfed even the largest Galactic Council cruisers. Ambassador Lyrael of the Aetheri, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid exosuit, spoke up. High Counselor, how is this possible? Our surveys indicated no spacefaring civilizations in that sector for at least another century. Before Zixra could respond, the chamber's communications array crackled to life. A face appeared on the screen, a face that would soon become known across the galaxy. It belonged to a species none of them had encountered before. Human. Greetings, citizens of the stars, the human said, her voice filled with a confidence that bordered on audacity. I am Admiral Helena Chen of the Terran Alliance. We come in peace and with an offer of friendship. The council members exchanged glances of disbelief and concern. Admiral Chen continued, seemingly oblivious to the shock she had caused. We've been observing your civilizations for some time now, and we believe it's high time Earth took its place among the galactic community. We bring with us the spirit of exploration, innovation, and yes, a commitment to defend our interests and those of our allies. High Counselor Zixra, recovering from the initial surprise, addressed the human admiral. Admiral Chen, while we welcome peaceful contact with new species, your dramatic arrival raises many questions. The Galactic Council has protocols for the integration of emerging civilizations. Your apparent level of technology suggests a violation of our non-interference directives. Chen's expression remained impassive, but there was a glint in her eye that spoke of barely contained excitement. With all due respect, High Counselor, Earth has charted its own course to the stars. We've had to overcome challenges that your council's protocols never accounted for. Civil wars, global conflicts, environmental crises. Each has forged us into what we are today. The council chamber erupted once more, this time with voices ranging from curiosity to outright hostility. Ambassador Crix of the militant Vorax Imperium growled, "And what exactly are you today, human? A threat to the stability we've maintained for eons." Admiral Chen's composure never wavered. We are explorers, diplomats, scientists, and yes, warriors when we need to be. But above all, we are a species driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desire to push boundaries. We've come not to disrupt your peace, but to invigorate your galaxy with new ideas, new technologies, and new possibilities. As Chen spoke, the holographic display shifted to showcase images of Earth, its sprawling cities, diverse ecosystems, and the myriad faces of humanity. The council members watched in fascination as they glimpsed a world teeming with a diversity of cultures and ideas they had never imagined possible on a single planet. High Counselor Zixra, ever the diplomat, saw an opportunity amidst the chaos. Admiral Chen, while your arrival is unprecedented, it is clear that the Terran Alliance represents a unique addition to our galactic family. I propose we adjourn this session and reconvene in 3 solar cycles. This will give us time to prepare for proper diplomatic discussions and cultural exchange. Chen nodded, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "We appreciate your wisdom, High Counselor. The Terran Alliance looks forward to these discussions. In the meantime, we'll maintain our position outside the Nexus system as a show of good faith." As the transmission ended, the council chamber descended into a flurry of activity. Diplomats huddled in groups, discussing the implications of this new player on the galactic stage. Intelligence officers scrambled to gather every scrap of information they could about this Earth and its capabilities. Ambassador Lyriel approached High Counselor Zixra, her energy form flickering with concern. "High Counselor, what are we to make of this? The humans' technology, their fleet, it's beyond anything we anticipated from a young species." Zixra's multifaceted eyes shifted, taking in the nervous energy permeating the chamber. "It seems, my dear Lyriel, that we have been caught unprepared. The galaxy as we know it is about to change." In the days that followed, the news of humanity's arrival spread like wildfire across the known galaxy. On countless worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes looked to the skies with a mixture of fear and wonder. Humanity, with its contradictions and complexities, had announced itself to the cosmos in a way that could not be ignored. As diplomatic preparations began in earnest, it became clear that the Galactic Council was dealing with something entirely new. The humans, it seemed, had not followed the expected path of gradual development and careful integration. They had burst onto the scene fully formed, a testament to their turbulent history and indomitable spirit. Intelligence reports began to paint a picture of Earth that both fascinated and alarmed the Council members. A planet of extreme diversity, in climate, in culture, in ideology. A world that had teetered on the brink of self-destruction multiple times, only to emerge stronger. A civilization that had made astounding leaps in technology in mere centuries, driven by competition and necessity. Most concerning to some council members was the humans' military capability. While the Galactic Council had long ago agreed to limit martial development in favor of peaceful cooperation, humanity had forged a formidable defensive and offensive capacity. The Terran Alliance's fleet, though smaller than the combined forces of the Council, boasted technology that in some areas surpassed their own. Yet for every worry, there was a spark of excitement. Scientists across the galaxy clamored for the chance to study human innovations. Cultural experts began learning Earth languages and customs, preparing for the inevitable exchange of ideas. Even the most cautious council members couldn't deny the potential benefits of incorporating such a dynamic species into the galactic community. As the 3 solar cycles neared their end, the Nexus system became a hive of activity. Diplomatic vessels from every corner of the galaxy converged, each eager to make first impressions on the Terran representatives. The Galactic Council, for the first time in recent memory, found itself scrambling to adapt to a new paradigm. Admiral Helena Chen, aboard the Terran flagship Horizon, watched the gathering with a mixture of pride and apprehension. She knew that the next few days would determine the course of human history, and quite possibly, the future of the galaxy itself. "Admiral," her executive officer reported, "we're receiving a transmission from High Counselor Zixra. The Galactic Council is ready to receive our delegation." Chen took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "Very well. Let's go make history." As the Terran shuttles descended towards Nexus Prime, beings across the galaxy held their breath. The era of comfortable stability was over. Humanity had arrived, and with them came the promise of adventure, innovation, and challenges that would reshape the cosmic order. The stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter that day, as if in anticipation of the new age dawning. The Terran Alliance had made its grand entrance, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The grand halls of the Galactic Council's central complex on Nexus Prime had never seen such a flurry of activity. As the Terran delegation made its way through the sprawling corridors, beings from across the galaxy craned their necks, extended sensory appendages, and jostled for position to catch a glimpse of these newcomers who had so dramatically announced their presence. Admiral Helena Chen led the human contingent, her crisp uniform a stark contrast to the flowing robes and bioluminescent attire of the council members. Behind her walked a carefully selected group that showcased humanity's diversity: scientists, diplomats, artists, and yes, a few military personnel. Each step they took sent ripples of whispers through the assembled crowd. High Counselor Zixra greeted them at the entrance to the main chamber. "Admiral Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I bid you and your people welcome. We are eager to learn more about your civilization." Chen smiled, her eyes twinkling with a mix of determination and mischief. "High Counselor, the honor is ours. We've brought a taste of Earth to share with you all." As the humans entered the chamber, holographic displays flickered to life around them. Suddenly, the austere space was filled with images of Earth's varied landscapes: towering mountains, sprawling cities, lush rainforests, and vast oceans. The council members murmured in appreciation, but it was only the beginning. Dr. Amina Okafor, Earth's leading xenanthropologist, stepped forward. "Esteemed members of the council, what you see before you is just the surface of our world's diversity. But the true richness of Earth lies in its people." With a gesture, the holograms shifted. Now they displayed a dizzying array of human cultures. Traditional ceremonies from every continent, bustling marketplaces filled with goods from around the world, and festivals bursting with color and sound. Ambassador Lyrael of the Aetheri leaned forward, her energy form pulsing with curiosity. This is all from one world. How is such variety possible without conflict?" Dr. Okafor's laugh was warm and genuine. "Oh, but there is conflict, Ambassador. Humanity's history is rife with it. But it's precisely this diversity, this constant clash and blend of ideas, that has driven our progress." The holograms shifted again, this time showing scenes from human history. The council members watched in fascination and horror as images of war gave way to scenes of reconciliation and cooperation. They saw the fall of empires and the rise of global institutions, the devastation of world wars followed by unprecedented technological leaps. Crix, the Vorax representative, growled softly. "You speak of conflict as if it's a virtue, human. Many of us have worked for millennia to eliminate such chaos from our societies." Admiral Chen stepped in, her voice measured but firm. "With respect, Ambassador Crix, we found that a certain amount of dynamic tension can be a powerful force for growth. It's not about glorifying conflict, but about harnessing the energy of diverse perspectives to fuel innovation." To demonstrate her point, Chen nodded to another member of her team. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of the Terran Alliance's scientific division, activated a new set of holograms. These display a rapid-fire sequence of human inventions and discoveries, each building upon the last at a pace that left the council members stunned. "In just the last 2 centuries," Dr. Tanaka explained, "we've gone from horse-drawn carriages to faster-than-light travel. From smoke signals to quantum entanglement communication, from leeches to nanobots, and each step of the way, it was the interplay of different cultures, different approaches, that sparked these advancements." The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices, each council member trying to process the implications of what they were seeing. Some were clearly excited by the potential, while others seemed wary of the rapid change the humans represented. High Counselor Zixra raised a hand for silence. "Admiral Chen, Dr. Okafor, Dr. Tanaka, your presentation is most illuminating, but I must ask, how do you maintain cohesion with such diversity? Surely there must be challenges in governance." This time, it was Teresa Alvarez, Earth's senior diplomat, who answered. "Indeed, High Counselor. Our systems of governance have evolved alongside our cultures. We have nation-states, regional alliances, and global bodies. The Terran Alliance itself is a testament to our ability to find common ground while respecting our differences." She went on to explain the intricacies of Earth's political landscape, from local democracies to the global confederation that had allowed humanity to speak with one voice to the stars. The council listened, rapt, as she detailed how differing ideologies and systems coexisted, competed, and ultimately collaborated. As the presentation continued, it became clear that Earth's impact on galactic culture would be profound. Already, council members were whispering among themselves about the possibilities. The Aetheri were fascinated by human art and music, seeing in it echoes of the energy patterns they used for communication. The scientifically minded Zyrex were practically salivating at the prospect of exchanging knowledge with human researchers. Even the militant Vorax found something to admire in humanity's martial history, though they were careful not to show too much enthusiasm in front of their more peaceful counterparts. But it wasn't just the council members who were affected. As news of the presentation spread, reactions across the galaxy were swift and varied. On some worlds, there was excitement about the new opportunities for trade and cultural exchange. On others, there was fear of the changes that such a dynamic species might bring. Fringe groups that had long warned about the stagnation of galactic society suddenly found their membership swelling. Meanwhile, conservatives who had thrived in the predictable order of the old galactic system began to mobilize, seeing in humanity a threat to their way of life. As the formal presentation came to an end, Admiral Chen addressed the council once more. "Distinguished representatives, we understand that our arrival has caused quite a stir. We don't expect you to embrace all of our ways, nor do we plan to simply assimilate into your existing structures. What we propose is a true exchange, a chance for all of us to grow and evolve together." High Counselor Zixra nodded slowly, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the swirling holograms. "Admiral, I believe I speak for many here when I say that your Earth represents both great opportunity and great challenge. The coming days will require careful diplomacy and open minds on all sides." As the session adjourned, the council members filed out, many deep in conversation about what they had witnessed. The human delegation, for their part, was quickly surrounded by curious officials and diplomats, each eager to learn more about specific aspects of Earth culture. In the following weeks, the effects of that first full encounter began to ripple out across known space. Galactic fashion saw an explosion of Earth-inspired trends, with beings of all species experimenting with the myriad styles of human clothing. Culinary sectors boomed as restaurants offering Earth cuisines opened on hundreds of worlds. Entertainment channels scrambled to acquire the rights to human films, music, and literature. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. On more conservative worlds, there were protests against the corrupting influence of Earth culture. Some religious leaders saw in humanity's scientific prowess a threat to traditional beliefs, and more than a few military strategists lay awake at night, wondering what it would mean to have such an unpredictable player on the galactic stage. For humanity, the experience was equally transformative. As delegations from other worlds began to visit Earth, humans were exposed to entirely new ways of thinking, being, and perceiving the universe. Philosophy, science, and art all experienced revolutions as humanity grappled with its place in a much larger and more diverse cosmos than they had ever imagined. Amidst all this change, Admiral Chen found herself working tirelessly to navigate the complex waters of galactic politics. She knew that these early days would set the tone for humanity's relationship with the wider galaxy for centuries to come. As she stood on the observation deck of the horizon, watching the swirl of diplomatic vessels around Nexus Prime, Shen allowed herself a small smile. The galaxy had thought itself set in its ways, comfortable in its long-established order. Humanity's arrival had shaken things up, for better or worse. "Well," she murmured to herself, "they wanted to know who we are. I'd say they're getting a pretty good idea." The stars seemed to twinkle in response, as if acknowledging that a new era had truly begun. The cultural shockwaves of Earth's arrival would continue to resonate across the galaxy, setting the stage for challenges and opportunities that no one, human or alien, could have predicted. The initial excitement of Earth's dramatic entrance into the galactic community had begun to settle into a new, uneasy reality. As the Terran Alliance established embassies on key worlds and welcomed alien delegations to Earth, the true implications of humanity's arrival started to become clear. The galaxy, long accustomed to a delicate balance of power, found itself grappling with a new player that refused to simply fall in line. Admiral Helena Chen stood before the Galactic Council, her posture rigid, her expression a mask of diplomatic neutrality. The chamber, once filled with curious whispers and excited murmurs, now crackled with tension. High Counselor Zixra's voice carried a note of strain as he addressed the human representative. Admiral Chen, the Council has convened this emergency session to address the growing concerns about Earth's recent actions. Your rapid expansion into uncharted sectors and your planet's unprecedented military buildup are causing significant unrest among our member worlds. Chen's reply was measured but firm. High Counselor, distinguished representatives, the Terran Alliance understands your concerns. However, we must remind the Council that Earth is not a signatory to the Treaty of Galactic Concordance. Our actions are in line with our right to self-determination and exploration. The chamber erupted into a chorus of protests and rebuttals. Ambassador Crix of the Vorax Imperium slammed a clawed fist on his podium. Self-determination. You speak of rights, human, but what of responsibilities? Your kind has upset centuries of careful diplomacy in mere stellar rotations. As the debate raged, it became clear that the galaxy was dividing into factions. Some worlds, particularly those on the fringes of Council space, saw in humanity a chance to challenge the established order. Others, primarily the older, more powerful civilizations, viewed Earth's rise with growing alarm. The Aetheri, once fascinated by human culture, now found themselves torn. Ambassador Luriel's usually calm energy form flickered with agitation as she addressed the Council. We cannot ignore the benefits of cooperation with Earth, but neither can we turn a blind eye to the destabilizing effect their policies are having on our collective security. Outside the Council chambers, the effects of this growing divide were becoming increasingly apparent. Trade routes that had flowed freely for millennia were now closely monitored, with some worlds imposing strict regulations on human goods. Cultural exchanges, once celebrated, became points of contention as conservative factions warned of the corrupting influence of Earth ideas. Meanwhile, Earth itself was undergoing rapid changes. The influx of alien technologies and knowledge had accelerated human development in ways that even the most optimistic futurists hadn't predicted. Megacities that blended Earth architecture with alien aesthetics stretched towards the skies. Orbital habitats teemed with humans and alien visitors, becoming melting pots of galactic culture. But it was in the field of military technology that Earth's growth was most alarming to its galactic neighbors. The Terran fleet, already impressive upon first contact, had expanded at an unprecedented rate. Sleek warships incorporating hybrid technologies patrolled the edges of human space, their capabilities a closely guarded secret. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, now head of the Terran Advanced Research Division, found herself working around the clock to integrate alien sciences with human ingenuity. In a secure facility beneath the Olympus Mons colony on Mars, she stood before a holographic display of Earth's latest breakthrough. The quantum fold drive, she explained to a group of wide-eyed officials, will revolutionize not just our fleet's capabilities, but our entire understanding of space-time. One of the officials, a grizzled veteran of Earth's pre-contact space program, whistleblow. Doc, do you realize what the Council would do if they knew about this? We're already walking a tightrope with them. Tanaka's expression was grim. That's precisely why this stays absolutely classified. Earth needs every advantage it can get in this new playing field. As news of human advancements leaked out, despite Earth's best efforts at secrecy, the galaxy's more militant factions began to respond in kind. The Vorax Imperium, long content with its role as the Council's reluctant peacekeeper, started reopening mothballed shipyards and weapons facilities. Other species, fearful of being left behind, began pouring resources into their own military and technological development. The Galactic Council, designed for slow, methodical diplomacy, found itself struggling to keep pace with the rapidly evolving situation. Emergency sessions became the norm rather than the exception, with member species demanding action to check Earth's growing influence. It was during one such session that the term Galactic Cold War was first coined. Ambassador Tizin of the Philosopher Kings of Lumina Prime used it in an impassioned speech. We stand upon the precipice of a new and dangerous era. While open conflict has been avoided, make no mistake, we are engaged in a Cold War that spans the stars themselves. The term quickly caught on, spreading across news networks and becoming a topic of heated debate in forums, both physical and virtual, across the galaxy. Earth, for its part, maintained a public stance of peaceful intentions. Teresa Alvarez, now serving as the human ambassador to the Galactic Council, worked tirelessly to smooth ruffled feathers and build coalitions. But even as she spoke of cooperation and mutual benefit, Earth's actions told a different story. In the frontier sectors, where Council influence had always been tenuous, human colony ships arrived in growing numbers. Worlds that had long been ignored by the galactic elites suddenly found themselves courted by Terran diplomats offering technology, protection, and a chance to be part of something greater. This expansion did not go unchallenged. Skirmishes broke out in disputed sectors, with Vorax patrol ships engaging intense standoffs with Terran cruisers. While full-scale war was avoided, casualties on both sides served to ratchet up tensions even further. As the conflict simmered, a new power dynamic began to emerge. Smaller, marginalized species started to gravitate towards Earth, seeing in humanity a counterbalance to the Council's traditionalist policies. A coalition, unofficially known as the Terran Compact, began to take shape. Admiral Chen, watching these developments from her flagship Horizon, felt the weight of history on her shoulders. She had led humanity to the stars with dreams of peaceful exploration and exchange. Now, she found herself at the center of a galactic chess game where the stakes couldn't be higher. "Admiral," her XO reported, breaking her from her reverie, "we're picking up unusual activity in the Sigma sector. The Vorax are mobilizing a battle group." Chen's eyes narrowed as she studied the tactical display. The Sigma sector, resource-rich and strategically vital, had long been a point of contention. If the Vorax were making a move there, alert the Terran Compact, she ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "And get me a secure line to Ambassador Alvarez. It's time we show the galaxy that Earth is ready to stand its ground." As the Horizon and its battle group prepared to make the jump to the Sigma sector, Chen couldn't help but reflect on how quickly things had escalated. The galaxy had welcomed them with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Now, barely a few years later, the human race found itself at the center of a cosmic power struggle. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as the pieces moved into place. The Galactic Cold War was entering a new, more dangerous phase, and Earth, the upstart newcomer, was about to show the galaxy just what humanity was capable of when pushed to the brink. In the Council chambers on Nexus Prime, as news of the Sigma sector mobilizations reached them, High Counselor Zixra looked out at the assembled representatives. The tension in the room was palpable, the old alliances and assumptions crumbling before their eyes. "My fellow beings," Zixra's voice was heavy with the weight of the moment, "we stand at a crossroads. The peace we have known for so long hangs in the balance. The choices we make in the coming days will shape the future of our galaxy for generations to come." As the Council erupted into debate once more, the fate of countless worlds hung in the balance. The Galactic Cold War had begun in earnest, and no one, human or alien, could predict where it would lead. The Sigma sector, once a quiet backwater of the galaxy, had become the flashpoint of interstellar tensions. The vast emptiness of space was now filled with the ominous silhouettes of warships from both the Terran Compact and the Galactic Council forces. Each fleet hung in the void, weapons primed, shields raised, waiting for the slightest provocation to unleash devastation on a cosmic scale. Aboard the Terran flagship Horizon, Admiral Helena Chen stood before a holographic display of the sector, her face illuminated by the eerie glow of distant stars and the status indicators of hundreds of ships. The weight of the moment pressed down on her shoulders like a physical force. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the tension crackling through the bridge. Her XO, Commander Ramirez, responded promptly. The Vorax battle group has taken up position near the Sigma-3 asteroid belt. Our forces are holding at the edge of the Terran Compact's claimed space. No shots fired, but both sides are maintaining combat readiness. Chen nodded, her mind racing through scenarios, each more catastrophic than the last. This standoff couldn't continue indefinitely. Sooner or later, someone would make a mistake, and the galaxy would erupt into a war unlike anything seen in millennia. But even as the specter of conflict loomed, a daring plan was taking shape light years away, in the unlikely setting of a bustling cafe in the heart of New Geneva on Earth. Dr. Amina Okafor, the xenoanthropologist who had first presented Earth's diversity to the Galactic Council, sat across from Teresa Alvarez, Earth's chief diplomat. Between them, forgotten cups of coffee grew cold as they pored over datapads and hastily scribbled notes. "It's audacious, Amina," Alvarez said, a mix of excitement and trepidation in her voice. "If it works, it could change everything. If it fails," Okafor's eyes sparkled with determination. "If it fails, we're no worse off than we are now, careening towards a war that could tear the galaxy apart. But if it works, Teresa, we have a chance to build something truly extraordinary." Their plan, dubbed Operation Cosmic Bridge, was as ambitious as it was risky. Instead of meeting the galaxy's fear and suspicion with force, they proposed to leverage humanity's greatest strength, its diversity and adaptability. The core of the plan was a series of cultural, scientific, and diplomatic initiatives designed to build trust and foster cooperation across species lines. But the true masterstroke was the proposal for a new galactic institution, one that would transcend the limitations of the current council and create a truly inclusive forum for interstellar cooperation. As Okafor and Alvarez refined their proposal, a select team of Earth's brightest minds was quietly assembled. Linguists, game theorists, AI specialists, and even science fiction authors were brought in to help anticipate every possible reaction and outcome. Meanwhile, in the Sigma sector, the situation continued to deteriorate. Minor skirmishes broke out as patrol ships from both sides tested each other's resolve. The Galactic Council, paralyzed by indecision and internal disagreements, seemed incapable of diffusing the crisis. It was in this charged atmosphere that Admiral Chen received the encoded transmission from Earth, outlining Operation Cosmic Bridge. As she digested the audacious proposal, a slow smile spread across her face. "It's crazy," she muttered to herself. "It's absolutely crazy. It might just work." With the backing of Earth's leadership, Chen made a decision that would be debated by historians for centuries to come. Instead of pressing the Terran Compact's military advantage, she opened a channel to the Vorax flagship. "This is Admiral Helena Chen of the Terran Alliance." Her voice rang out across the vacuum of space. "To all ships in the Sigma sector, I propose an immediate ceasefire and invite representatives from all factions to a neutral meeting ground. Earth has a proposal that could change the course of galactic history." Over the next several hours, the human delegation laid out their vision. They proposed the creation of a new galactic body, the Interstellar Cooperative Alliance, ICA. Unlike the current council, the ICA would be structured to give voice to all species, big and small. It would focus on collaborative problem-solving, leveraging the unique strengths of each member race. Key to the proposal was a series of joint projects designed to build trust and foster cooperation. As the presentation concluded, the room buzzed with a mixture of excitement and skepticism. The Vorax representative, General Kraz, was the first to speak. "Your words are pretty, humans, but how can we trust that this isn't just another ploy to expand your influence?" Dr. Okafor stepped forward, her voice calm but passionate. "Trust is earned, General. That's why every aspect of this proposal is designed with transparency and mutual benefit in mind. We're not asking anyone to disarm or to give up their sovereignty. We're inviting you all to build something greater together. Ambassador Lyrael of the Aethery, her energy form pulsing with intrigue, chimed in. The potential benefits are undeniable, but the logistical challenges of such an alliance are staggering. How do you propose to overcome millennia of ingrained mistrust and competition? It was Teresa Alvarez who answered, a wry smile on her face. With patience, persistence, and a healthy dose of human stubbornness, Ambassador. We've had plenty of practice overcoming our own divisions back on Earth. Now we're ready to apply those lessons on a galactic scale. The debates raged on for days. Proposals were dissected, amended, and reassembled. There were moments when it seemed the whole endeavor might collapse, but each time, the human delegation found a way to bridge the divide and keep hope alive. As news of the Sigma Conference spread across the galaxy, public opinion began to shift. Beings of all species, weary of the constant threat of war, rallied in support of the human proposal. Grassroots movements sprang up on countless worlds, calling for their leaders to embrace this new vision of galactic cooperation. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of negotiations, a framework agreement was reached. The Interstellar Cooperative Alliance would become a reality, with a charter to be ratified by member worlds over the coming months. As the delegates filed out of the conference room, many with shell-shocked expressions that spoke of sleepless nights and hard-fought compromises, Admiral Chen caught Dr. Okafor's eye. "We did it," Chen said softly, disbelief and elation warring in her voice. Okafor smiled, exhaustion and triumph etched on her face. "We've taken the first step, Admiral. The real work is just beginning." As the news of the Sigma Accord spread across the galaxy, celebrations erupted on countless worlds. The shadow of war that had loomed so darkly began to recede, replaced by a tentative hope for a brighter future. In the following weeks and months, the machinery of the new alliance began to take shape. Task forces were formed, cultural exchanges initiated, and joint scientific ventures launched. It wasn't always smooth sailing. Centuries of mistrust and competition couldn't be erased overnight, but with each small success, the bonds of cooperation grew stronger. Admiral Chen, standing on the observation deck of the Horizon, watched as ships from a dozen different species worked together to construct the new ICA headquarters in neutral space. The massive structure with architecture that blended styles from across the galaxy was a physical embodiment of the new era of cooperation. "It's something, isn't it?" a voice said behind her. Chen turned to see Dr. Tanaka, the scientist's eyes wide with wonder as she took in the scene. "It certainly is, Yuki," Chen replied. "When we first made contact, I never imagined we'd end up here." Tanaka nodded, a thoughtful expression on her face. "You know, for all our technological advancements, I think this might be humanity's greatest achievement yet. We didn't just join the galactic community. We helped reshape it." As they stood there, watching the birth of a new galactic order, both women knew that challenges lay ahead. Old rivalries would resurface, new crises would emerge, and the resolve of the alliance would be tested time and again. But for now, in this moment, the future seemed bright with possibility. Humanity had come to the stars seeking adventure and knowledge. In the process, they had become the architects of a new age of cosmic cooperation. The galactic Cold War had been averted, not through force of arms, but through the power of ideas and the courage to reach across the vast gulfs of space and difference to forge common ground. Operation Cosmic Bridge had succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams, opening the door to a future where the combined potential of all sapient life could be realized.